Here it is, finally, the Drakerys starter set. This is the English edition by Don't Panic Games. Finally came in on the Kickstarter. I've had a little bit of time to open up some of the character packs that came either in these boxes or just individually by themselves. They already come assembled, which is good and bad. The good is you don't have to spend the time putting them together, I guess. But the bad is, like, they're not all glued in flush with the base, and these are some pretty cool bases. There's so much variety in them, and they're already textured, kind of ready to go out of the box, so a little bit of a bummer, but it's still pretty cool. Let's take a quick look. Okay. Look on the back. They've got nice decorated art, and over that, depending on what country it's going to, I suppose, they've got an overlay that tells you the contents within the box. So quite a bit seems to be included. Hoping that it's got everything in it, all the bonus models from the Kickstarter, because so far the additional troop contents don't seem to have made it my way. So let's go ahead and lift the lid off here. This is a real thick quality box. Not that a lot of people are going to care, but I mean, that's reinforced. It's got some texture on the outside. Some of the things you can tell, they really didn't spare expenses on, and really produce something that's really top quality. So I can already feel that this game mat, shouldn't maybe be two of them. There might not. Okay. Not what you'd expect. It's thick, in a good way. So it's got what I think would be, it's not a board game, not a game board, but it's got a lot of utility, I guess. You know, I could see this lasting a while. It's also not something like a fat mat or one of those other high-end mats. They called it a vinyl mat, so I guess it feels like a slick kind of paper, but maybe that's vinyl. I'm not sure. Or maybe the vinyl mats that come in the other content pack are somehow different than this one, but very, very hefty. And then, unlike the other models that seem to come in painted in this, or this type of regular resin plastic, and I don't know about you guys, I kind of despise this material as a modeler, first and foremost, and I guess as a gamer I'm not really partial to one or the other, but one of the reasons I really dislike this versus like the hard plastics of GW is just, if there's anything ever thin, it just never gets delivered as advertised. It's all warped and bent, and the same thing kind of happened with all the little characters, and no one's got time to go through all that stuff and correct it. Especially since they're already put together, it kind of makes it harder to do that. But in terms of the quality of the sculpting, definitely on par with Privateer Press. So that's a good thing, right? But I don't think that they quite live up to the hype so far, at least. And these are the elementals. There's fire, earth, air, and water. Alright, now into the game content itself. Everybody having little lance weapons and stuff, like, please don't let me down. Please don't have weapons bent to hell, or this thing will end up in the trash so fast. But here's the Minotaurs, big hefty guys. A little bit warped. Let's take a look. Alright, let's get these bad boys out of here. The colored plastics are, every army and their core set comes in a different colored plastic. So here's a Minotaur with like a hammer, and here's a Minotaur with an axe. In the starter box they already come assembled, so you don't have any, maybe they're assembled, so you don't really have a choice of different weapons to put on them. But yeah, hopefully these glue together with some super glue. Because so far we've got a casualty that doesn't look like it had any glue on its arm. unfortunately. Let's get into the orcs. These are just the ordinary orc warriors. Lay out here in front of you. Got typical axe and shield. Got quite a few of those. 1, 2, 3. Oh, this is fun. It's like a puzzle. For crap's sake. Okay. 4, 5. Some more bent up weapons. That's all fun. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 of the regular troops, and then this one looks like it's some sort of boss. So it's got tusks and like a bigger fist weapon. These guys are kind of like the brutes. I'm not sure what they're all called. Probably called brutes. This guy's got like kettlebells as weapons. He's on the much bigger base than even the boss model. He's more along the lines of this special hero that they provided in the Kickstarter. So there's 3 of those big characters. Not overly exciting other than their size. They're not quite like trolls. I guess they're a little smaller than the minotaurs. If you can see over there, we got the brutes. And then we got the minotaurs that stand a little bit taller than them. First thought is that the colored plastics are a little strange, but then I just thought to myself about how all of this is probably manufactured by the same place that makes Privateer Press after touching all the materials. And they just switched to colored plastics too, so must be the way things are going. Here's the Isaurians. Isaurians. I haven't figured out how to pronounce it. It is Erosia. So Erosia.